welcome back, Apple Sims, to part 2 of our unboxing spectacular today here at the Apple Sim, here in the Apple Walled Garden. Now, we just unboxed iPhone 13 Pro Max in the silver color. Absolute beautiful device. Right now it's being set up. Take a look at the iPad Mini 6. Apple's latest generation to the iPad Mini. Now, while I'm unboxing this, I want to make a couple notes. Since the iPad Mini first came out, I thought it was a good device. Usually pretty underpowered. Not a big demographic for it, but people who did have it, they loved it. They loved that they have a big display, but in a still small device. You hear similar things being said about things like the Galaxy Z Fold 3 from Samsung and some of the foldable devices because they're very tiny and they can unfold into full-fledged devices. And as a side note, another side note is that I have never been a big fan of the iPad Mini lineup. Never owned one before. When I've used them, they just seemed like they weren't enough to justify another product. But I mean, I understand why they're around. But now with the iPad Mini 6, this is the first iPad Mini I've ever been inclined to pick up myself. And here, we got the iPad Mini 6 in the Starlight color. This very soft gold color. 256 GB capacity, only comes in two sizes, 64 and 256. And in cellular variant. You Apple Sims know, I've talked about this before. I have a cellular iPad Pro. I love that device. Having cellular on it, extremely handy feature. Alright, now just for comparison Apple Sims, we got a couple boxes here for you. Just to take a few looks. So, iPad Mini box here in the middle. Mac Mini here in the box. Here you see, very similar height. Alright, very similar dimensions. The Mac Mini, and then we have the HomePod Mini. Very different configuration. We got here AirPods, exactly the same height as the iPad Mini box, just to give you some idea of how small this device is. 13 Pro Max box, like in, of course, a lot thinner, but almost as tall, and just laughable how kind of these devices are very similar in size. And then, of course, here we have the iPhone 12 Mini. So we have Mac Mini, HomePod Mini, and iPhone 12 Mini, all compared to the Minis, to the iPad Mini's box. So, without further ado, let's go back to unboxing the iPad Mini 6. A little jiggle there. Get that sliding right off. And, wow. Exactly how I expected, ladies and gentlemen. Big device, big screen, 8.3 inches, one-handed. Aspect ratio, excellent. Lots of use cases for this. Let's put aside this for a second. And something we don't see with many Apple devices nowadays. 20-watt power adapter, USB-C power adapter. Not many devices still have a power adapter. I think only maybe the HomePods and the iPads. I can't remember if my iPad Pro from 2020 had it or not. I don't believe so. And aside the box, you have USB-C cables. So not USB-C to Lightning like on the iPhones, because Lightning is pretty much dead, except for on the AirPods and on the iPhones. But USB-C on both ends. Not many Apple products have USB-C cables, or cables that are USB-C on both sides, except maybe just the MacBooks. But, interesting. So this definitely is kind of a weirder product from Apple. Apple usually doesn't listen to us Apple Sims exactly as we want, get exactly what we want. But for about 2 years now, we've been hearing we want an iPad Mini that's an iPad Pro. An iPad Pro Mini, essentially. And this is exactly what we're getting. Except for a few things, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. Alright. Take off the paper. That is why Apple got rid of the plastic on the iPhones. On the iPhone boxes. And here we have the Starlight color, very soft gold. I wish it was just more of a prominent gold, like on the 8th and 9th generation iPads, on the previous iPad Mini. But very subtle pastel-y gold. Not a bad color. It's going to be a case mostly anyway. Not like my phone. My phones I go caseless, so those I care about the color a lot more. But Starlight color, 256 in a cellular configuration. And let's turn this on. And for you Apple Sims, a little piece of reference for you Apple Sims out there. This is the first Apple device I'm using with Touch ID inside the button. Not on the screen like we saw older iPads and much older iPhones, but Touch ID inside here. I never used the iPad Air 4. That was the first device that gave us that, but right over here. Alright, turn this on. Screen feels really good size. You know, just like one-handed, you're holding a big display. Let's go through the setup process very quick. And I'm going to set this up back to this new device because I don't want the same things as on my iPad Pro to be on here, or on my phone. It's going to be a very different device, different uses. I'm going to start setting this up. However, before I do that, I want to point out Apple Simps. Bezels on this look massive, even though they're not that big. They had to be this size because, you know, when you're holding it, you want something to somewhere to rest your palms, so you don't have hexagonal touches like on the Samsung Galaxy devices, with how bad they have, how their side curves are, and you're always doing accidental touches on the display. But give me a few minutes, Apple Simps. We're gonna go set this up. Be right back once we get to the home screen. Stay tuned.
Hey Apple Sims, so in regards to my iPad mini unboxing and setup, right after I recorded the portion where I unboxed the video, I went to get set up. I did have some technical issues with my equipment, so I wasn't able to properly record the rest of that video. But I did want to let you know that I have been using the iPad mini now for 2 days. It has been a great device, great size, pretty much everything I expected. However, couple gripes about it. I talked a lot about it on Twitter, so please make sure you do follow me at @the_AppleSimp to hear all my first impressions of the device after using it for 2 days. We were talking about the screen, Touch ID or Face ID, battery life, and just using the device in the form factor. But overall, I do love the form factor. I do love the size of the iPad. It's a very powerful device in terms of processing power and GPU power. And I'm hoping that after a couple weeks of use, I'm going to be able to shoot a review video and tell you Apple Sims how I feel about the iPad mini 6 as an upgrade, as an everyday device, and whether you guys should pick one up or not. But for now, Apple Sims, please enjoy the unboxing video. I do apologize for it being a little bit late. I am having trouble finding time to record these videos, but I do have to make content for all you Apple Sims and some Apple juice for you Apple Sims to sip on. Hopefully I'll have some more reviews and more content out for you very soon. Until then, Apple Sims, stay sippin' apple juice, and I'll see you soon.